All right, in this explainer, we're diving into a source text called Kemet, Weaving the Etheric Net. And let me tell you, it paints a picture of ancient Egypt that is worlds away from anything you learned in history class. So, right from the get-go, the text asks us to imagine a completely different ancient world. This isn't a story about superstition. It's about what the source calls sacred technology, a time when science and spirituality were basically the same thing. Okay, so let's get into it. The idea here is that Kemet, that's the ancient name for Egypt, was built on vibration and frequency. The Great Pyramids, they weren't just tombs for pharaohs, no. They were massive, humming power sources for the entire civilization. At the heart of all this is a concept called pyramid power. The theory is that these huge structures were perfectly designed to tap into the Earth's natural energy, its telluric currents, basically turning the whole Giza Plateau into a kind of planetary dynamo. Now, to really get a feel for this world, the source gives us a guide. We're going to follow a day in the life of Khepri. Think of him as a mid-level network engineer. His official job title, though, a weaver of divine nets. I mean, how cool is that? So, what's a morning like when your whole society is literally plugged into a pyramid? Well, Khepri's daily routine shows us just how deeply this technology was woven into the fabric of everyday life. Forget about a blaring alarm clock. Khepri wakes up to a gentle harmonic pulse from the grid, perfectly tuned to his own body. His shower is a sonic mist just pulled right out of the air. And his breakfast? It's cooked in an oven that's powered by focused light from the pyramids. Everything is just seamlessly connected. And check this out. This is the personal tech of the era, the eygpt. Now, on the surface, it's a polished slab of obsidian, a lot like our smartphones. But here's the wild difference. It was seen as a symbiotic extension of your soul, not just a tool. It was powered by wireless etheric waves and could even project your thoughts. And here we see him using it. This is a message Khepri is sending to his fiancée, Nefertari. It's beautiful and poetic, yeah, but it's also just a text message sent across this incredible network. It just goes to show how personal and intimate this tech could be. All right, so Khepri's commute. This was not a slow walk down a dusty road. His trip to work really shows off the grand scale of this civilization-wide infrastructure. So here's how it all plugs together. The Great Pyramid, that's the central power plant. All those obelisks we see today, in this version of history, they were gilded broadcast towers, relaying power and information. And for transport, Khepri rides a repulsor skiff that literally glides on the etheric currents generated by the network. And get this, while he's cruising along on his way to work, he gets a call. But it's not just a voice in his ear. A full holographic projection of his boss, Imhotep the Younger, just flickers into existence right there on the skiff. I mean, can you imagine a video call like that? And what's the call about? It's a work thing, a network issue. A flux coil way out on a distant obelisk needs to be recalibrated. But the amazing part is, Khepri can diagnose and fix the whole problem remotely, right there from his skiff. This is basically high-level remote systems management, thousands of years ago. So Khepri finally arrives at his workplace, the House of Nets. You can think of it as the central operations hub, mission control for the entire network. This is where he and the other weavers maintain the sacred grid that powers all of Kemet. His workstation is, well, it's incredible. Instead of computer monitors, the walls are these luminous, dynamic murals that show real-time network data. They're tracking things like bandwidth in what they call Kaga units, weather-like ether storm anomalies, and this really interesting thing called harmonic dissonance. And that harmonic dissonance is a big deal. Khepri's main job is to hunt down these tiny imperfections in the network's frequency and smooth them out. The source says these are actually faint echoes of some much older ancient cataclysm, like a warning embedded in the tech itself. As his shift ends, we see how important it is to pass this knowledge down. Here he is mentoring a young apprentice, and it's not just a technical lesson, it's a spiritual one. He says the network is a song, and that fear can fracture it. This work is a sacred trust. But you know how these stories go. As the source text makes very clear, this golden age wasn't meant to last forever. A huge change was on the horizon, one that threatened to silence the song of the pyramids for good. According to this narrative, a major historical shift, the rise of Akhenaten, led to the active destruction of this sacred technology. The ether grids were torn apart, the onconets were shattered, and the knowledge just vanished into the sand, leaving behind the silent stone ruins that we study today. And right here is where the story takes a really mind-bending turn. The source asks a fascinating question. What if the network never truly went dark? What if it just went dormant? On that final night, right before the fall, something impossible happens. Kepri's Ankh-net picks up a signal, but it's not from his own time. It's from a future far, far away. And he sees an image, a man holding a device eerily similar to his own, a glowing rectangle. And along with that image comes a voice, a whisper from the future with this incredibly cryptic message. It suggests a connection across thousands of years, a cycle that's restarting, with Kepri as the echo and this figure from the future as the key. In that last moment, the source describes the Great Pyramid's core pulsing one final time. But this isn't just a power surge, it's a deliberate signal, sent through the ether of time itself. It's a message in a bottle, designed to arrive right here in our present day, showing up as a strange glitch on an archaeologist's smartphone. And that leaves us with this final, really thought-provoking question. If Kepri's world sent a message forward through time, and our technology is just now getting advanced enough to just maybe pick up its faintest echo, what does that make us? Are we just the echo of a forgotten golden age? Or are we, with our own glowing rectangles, the key to restarting the cycle?